Welcome to Facecrime Skin Labs. On this episode, we are going to bring some engaging discussion in and around the topic of men and beauty aesthetic treatments. So let's talk about the misconceptions of men and aesthetic treatments. Let's maybe talk about the stigma and how much generally do men really invest in their overall skincare regime. The discussion in this podcast is for general information purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you have regarding your medical health. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking treatment because of something you heard on this podcast. So I'm welcoming one of my favorite guests, Kevin Rocha. Hi, Kevin.
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to the front of the camera. So Kevin, he's from Brazil originally. He moved up here in 2018, and I say the front of the camera because he is a co-founder for Frankly Agency, amazing marketing agency, as well as he is creative director for Facecrime. So he's kind of what makes the magic happen. And
Yeah. So I'm usually behind the camera, but today, for the first time, I'm in front of the camera. So thanks for having me.
welcome. There's a little bit of pressure to it, right?
A little bit, yes. I would say a lot, but yeah.
It gets easier, I promise. It gets easier. Okay, so today, Kevin, we're going to talk about men and beauty treatments, aesthetic treatments, injectables, skincare, all of the above. So I want to start with your skin story. Can you tell me a little bit about your challenges with skin? Discuss the beauty and aesthetic treatments maybe that you do and when you started doing them.
So my skin journey started when I was very young, and then I started breaking out like a crazy person. And I'm not only talking about acne, I'm talking about cysts. So I would have ginormous cysts all over my face, especially behind my ears, such a weird spot. It's until now I still have like scars behind my ear. And I remember when I was 13, 12 to 13, my grandma and my mom, they would take me to the doctor all the time to drain the cyst behind my ear, and also trying to find a solution for my acne. So all the time the doctor will say you should start taking Accutane. So you start taking Accutane. So my grandma and my mom, they were reading all the side effects of Accutane, and they were saying no, 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 because that would be too strong for me, and I was so young. So my mom was really afraid of what could happen to me. But anyways, so 2018 I moved to Canada, and then my face just got worse and worse and worse. And then here, I was able to find a doctor that gave me Accutane right away. And then I was 18. I was already 20, so my mom couldn't say no. So I went there and I bought a bunch of Accutane and I started treatment. So I did the treatment for over 6 or 7 months, I would say. And then I saw my face improving. My acne, they were all gone. I still have a lot of scars and texture. And then that's where aesthetics came into the picture, because at some point I was very happy with the face that I had. I never had a face, like a clean face with no acne or like active acne. So I was very happy with that. But then the next step would find a solution to smooth everything out and just treat all the scars that those acne left me. So that's where I found you, and I started my journey with taking care of these scars. Yeah.
Okay, so let's address one of the first misconceptions, and that is men don't care about how they look.
Of course we do.
How did it affect your mental health having a face that was always breaking out?
Yeah, I remember. So before I used to look very different, I would say, because mostly because of my weight and because of the how my skin situation was. So I remember that at some point, I would say like for 5 years, I was very unhappy. So I remember that I would Photoshop every single photo. Like I would never post a photo on social media if I didn't remove all my pimple, my acne, or just clean up my skin. And then after I started losing weight and then I started doing Accutane, I started realizing how that was affecting me. But when I was in that situation, I didn't really realize. I just thought it was normal to be using Photoshop because everyone was using Photoshop, and I wanted to look my best on social media as everyone at that age, right? Um, but then now looking back, I see how that was really messing up with my confidence. And then I would say I just gained my confidence back like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I post photos. I don't really clean my skin. Like I don't do anything. I don't even have the apps to clean my own skin on my cell phone, which is great because before I used to have like a bunch of different apps just to do that. So
That's also highlights too that like things we see online are not reality, right?
no.
And so many people are exposed to that.
Yeah.
Okay. What treatments do you do aesthetically now? How did you hear about it? How did you get into it? And what are some of the treatments you do for just beautification?
Yeah. So I would say that if I look back 3 years ago, I never really thought about treatment, like skin treatments, because I always had the misconception that everything that I would do on my face on a skin clinic would look fake, or would like change how I look. So I was always really afraid of that. And then I always also never thought that that was a guy's thing. I always thought that was something that girls would be doing. But then once I started working with Dr. Amy, I started realizing and understanding a little bit more that I can do a bunch of treatments and I can keep looking how I look. I can look natural. I can just improve or do treatments for prevention. So that's when I start understanding a little bit more, and then we together decided to jump into this journey to really treat my scars, which is something that still mess up a little bit with my confidence, but I don't really let that bother me so much. I do have moments that I don't like to look at my photos, or I'm doing a video, shooting a video, and then I know that I have a scar here that I don't like, but that doesn't really bother me how I used to get bothered with my acne.
Have you seen an improvement with these treatments with your
I
scars?
have seen definitely an improvement with those with my treatments. So the treatments that I do nowadays are Botox. I do Sculptura. Um, I did filler on my lips, and I also feel we also did a little bit of filler here, just to try to fix that scar. And I do PRP.
Okay.
Yeah.
And out of all of these treatments that you've done, have you ever had anybody say to you, "How you got work done," or "You look like you got work done"?
Never. So the thing with Dr. Amy is that we like you're very open to looking natural. Like you want your patients to look natural. So I kind of like to say that I like to enhance my beauty. I already think I'm beautiful. I'm very happy the way I look. But I always feel that depending of the day or the season, especially during summer, it's always good to like do something different or like to improve a little bit more. So I do love to do Botox. And yeah, I've never had anyone being like saying like, "Oh my God, you look too fake," or like, "Oh, you don't look yourself." Um, and it's actually the opposite. Since I start doing treatments, and then like I go to my friends and I tell them what I've done. Like some people don't really believe that I have things done just because like you can really say like you can really say that I got something done, but you can tell that I look a little bit more relaxed or refreshed. But people cannot really point to me and be like, "Hey, you got this done or you did that," because it's so natural and it's more like preventative than to change how I look. So yeah.
Exactly. There's such a misconception out there that if you do Botox, you're gonna look like this.
Yeah, you won't look like
Yeah,
this.
your face will not move, and it doesn't need to be like that. Or if you're gonna do fillers in your face, you're gonna look like a chipmunk. There's such thing as overdoing it for sure.
That's true.
But I think the best work is the undetected work, the ones where people say, "Oh, you look a little refreshed," and you're actually on what your 3-4 hours of sleep tonight because of
Yeah, I had a little problem yesterday night, so I only slept for 3 hours.
And right, and sometimes that's what neuromodulators can do is they can just keep things a little bit more wide-eyed, open. So there is conservative way to go about things. And as long as what I'm happy with, as long as these treatments are helping build your confidence, because that's what it is at the end of the day, because men do care about the way they look, right? That's a misconception. They do care about the way they look. And knowing that these resources are open to everybody is important to share. Now, I know the clinic I work at right now, it's very pink. It's, it looks like it just targets women, but we do have a lot of men patients.
I know.
You see them often, right? Most of the time they're not really open to before and after. So when it's like posting before and after pictures, you see a lot more women, but we get a lot of male traffic in there.
I also feel that lately things are changing and like guys are getting a little bit more. And guys, it's 2024. Like, please go get your face check. Like, everyone wants to look good. People feel happier when they look good. And especially if you have a partner, like, of course, your partner, if like him or she's taking care of herself, of course, they want the same thing from their partner. They want like, I want my partner to be looking good. I want my partner to take care of himself the same way that I do, because that's like, we just feel better. We feel good when we are.
I have that matched effort.
Yeah.
My partner, this is funny. I gave him some medical grade skincare, which medical grade skincare is not the cheapest product you can find. Anyways, this stuff has like stem cells in it, right? Very regenerative medicine, because he's always just washed his face with cold water, which is fine. He's got a beautiful face and he's very gracefully. But I gave him this because I had an extra bottle of it. And then I saw him just like rubbing it on his arms and his hands with like a lotion. And I'm like, no, what are you doing? Like, that's for your face. And you just use the littlest amount so it goes a lot further, right? But his legs. He was putting it on his legs.
Oh, wow, that's even worse.
Reacting to some creatine he was taking. And I was just like, oh, honey. Anyways, I think we've got him maybe using it on his face, maybe not. But it was a small win just getting him to take it back to work with him.
And it's true. Like, I consider myself a person that I do take care of my skin health now. But honestly, I only started using SPF like consistently this year. I've never been a person that like would go out and put sunscreen. Okay. I would always forget.
So then that's my next question is, tell me about your investment in daily skincare and what your regime looks like.
Okay, my skincare regime is very simple. Because I do work with marketing and I do all the filmings for my agency. So my life is a little bit chaotic sometimes. So I'm always rushing. I'm always like getting ready to go somewhere or to go to another place, to do this, to do that. So I don't really have time or patience to be using like putting a lot of products on my face. So I basically use a face oil, a moisturizer, and sunscreen. And lately I've been drinking water. That I was not used to drink water before. So I feel that that's a really good combo. Like, it's simple, it's easy, it's not that expensive. And yeah, it's working, I feel.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that water, because a lot of what we preach on this podcast in our community is talking about health and beauty from the inside out. And I know you're huge into fitness, you take really good care of your health, you eat a whole foods diet. How much does that affect how you feel and look on the outside?
Like the food?
Yeah, just taking care of your health overall.
Oh my God, 100%. Because I feel that I feel that I could be better. I feel that having my partner, which is a guy that is really healthy and is really into fitness and health, he helps me a lot to keep me on track. Because if I didn't have him, I don't think I would be that focused. So sometimes when I do step out of my diet and I eat something not too good or a lot of sugar, which is something that happens a lot, I can see my face breaking out. Not only that, but also like stress also adds to that. You can see here, yesterday I was very stressed. So this morning I already woke up with 2 white heads. So it's all connected. Like, people don't really understand that you really have to start taking care of the inside to see the results from the outside. Like, using SPF or using a good moisturizer will help, but it won't help completely, because one thing connects to the other, right? You have to be taking care of this and taking care of that to have the better results. So
good. And if you're taking a good care of this, I feel like rewarding yourself with these little subtle treatments that you're doing is all that much more worth it, right?
yeah,
Because you've done everything you can to build up the foundation, and then you're complementing it with a little bit of your treatments.
exactly. You kind of have to feel that, see your body as a temple. So you only wanted to invite good energy to that temple, like good people, good things. So it's the same thing with food. Like you have a very expensive car, you're not gonna put the cheapest gas on your car because then you're just gonna damage the inside. So think yourself as a car. It's like the same thing. You have to be very conscious of the food that you're putting inside because at some point those results gonna come on the outside.
Yeah, I like that temple. That was, I heard, was it Giselle, that supermodel, say that the other day, where she was talking about not drinking alcohol, and she's like, "This is my temple."
I think that's where I got it from.
That was from Giselle.
She's Brazilian, and I think I was reading her book,
She's no inspiration.
and then I think she said something like that. And then since I read that page of the book, I had this in my head, but I didn't know where I took that from. Okay, so it's her.
Giselle.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, she's in her 40s, and like, look at her. Wow.
She's perfection.
Yeah. And that's another big thing too, right? Like moderating caffeine, not drinking alcohol, staying hydrated.
Yeah.
It's really going to help age you gracefully. And I know that in my practice, I love attracting people that do take those extra steps to be mindful of their health, because if they're coming in and they have, you know, maybe a face full of acne and horrible breakouts, and they think that getting their lips done bigger is going to be the solution to going on public and feeling more confident, we have a different conversation.
Yeah.
And they end up a lot of the times as my naturopathic patients first. And once we get things settled, then we're maybe going to do a little bit more of the cosmetic treatment.
That's good. That's perfect.
So we already addressed one of the major misconceptions, that men do not care about their looks, which is completely wrong. The second one that I was reading was that men that care about their looks are vain.
Guys, what are you talking about? Like, when you take care of yourself, you're literally respecting yourself. You're like, I feel that when you take care of yourself, it's because you love yourself, and there's nothing better than self-love, I feel. I don't think people are vain when they do things to feel better. I feel that they are happy and they want to invest in themselves. Like, you should be investing in yourself more than you invest, I don't know, in something that is like random or not really important to your life. If you think about it, your life is your body, and your life is how you look. Your life is your feelings, how you're gonna be feeling that day, how you're gonna, I don't know. For me, everything is so connected because when you feel good, when you feel confident, and I can say that from a place that I felt on my own skin when I was not confident, and when I started gaining my confidence back, like I remember the day. Like I remember the day, I think 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when I went to the gym. So for people that don't really know, I used to weigh 95 kilos. I have no idea what is that in pounds. Hey, production, can we check?
Yes.
1 second.
95 kilos in pounds, okay. I remember seeing pictures. Your face was very round.
I was very unhealthy. Very, very.
109 pounds.
209 pounds. And how tall are you?
I'm 170.
You're 6'1".
I'm 6'1".
So you had problematic skin and you were overweight.
I was overweight. I had problematic skin. I couldn't go up on the stairs. If I went to the grocery store and I bought a lot of stuff, I would be like suffering to carry those bags.
How old were you?
I was 20.
Okay.
I was very young. So I'm not really proud of that, Kevin. But I also knew that a lot of things were causing that. There was not like I just gave up on life. I had like family problems. I had a bunch of other problems. And then I kind of saw myself letting go. Like I felt like I saw everything. I was like, okay, I know this is happening to me, but I also don't want to change anything because I'm comfortable here. So let's just see until when I can have this unhealthy lifestyle. That's where I started also seeing my confidence going away. And then I started like hiding. I didn't want to take photos. I remember all the time I would put like a pillow on my belly. Or like, I remember also when I moved to Canada and then 2020 happened and then we had to wear masks and stuff. I was very happy that I was able to hide my face because I used to work in customer service. So people would be looking at my face all the time and I would feel so uncomfortable. And then once we started wearing masks, I was like, okay, cool, no one see what is behind. Like I'm happy now. That's when I decided to then start taking Accutane. And then once I started taking Accutane and I started going to the gym, that was like life changing. I was like, oh my God, like I can do this. Because I actually never believed in myself. I never thought that I would be able to lose all that weight or like to feel happy again or to feel confident or to take a photo without editing. And then once that happened, I was like, okay, cool. Like there's a new Kevin coming.
Okay.
Yes.
And then that new Kevin attracted a really mindful, health conscious partner.
Exactly. I feel like once you are in a bad place, you ended up attracting bad people. I don't want to say attracting bad people, but attracting people that are not really healthy or not in the best place ever. And then once that happened, you just go down. Like both of you guys go. And then once you start seeing that life is different and that things like it's very hard when you are in a bad place to believe that you can change. But then once you start changing and you start seeing the improvement, you're like, okay, cool. And then you kind of get addicted to that healthy habit of getting all these achievements. And then that's when you start attracting new people to your life. And then all those bad people you just like push away. Not push away, but you just like replace them on the shelf. And then yeah, that's how I got a beautiful partner, which is very healthy. And I feel that we complement each other. Yeah, so I help him in certain ways, he helped me in certain ways, and we have the same goals in life, not only health wise, but like in general. So yeah, you have to always be aware and with your eyes very open by your like to check who's around you, your surroundings. And yeah, that will definitely help on the journey.
So, last misconception I came across that was common, that only young men have these concerns. Now, you're a young man, so I don't think you can speak for more gracefully aged individuals, but what are your thoughts around that?
I feel that so our agency it's very focused on the beauty and wellness industry. So we do work with like doctors and we work with skin clinics. And something that I have been seeing a lot lately on the place that we work is older people coming, like especially males, coming to the clinic and looking for treatments and looking for ways to improve their skin texture, ways to improve their wrinkles. So I cannot really say anything about how they feel, but I definitely can say that I see that happening way more, and that's great because if people are like looking for ways to improve themselves, is because they still care about themselves. Like they still care about how they feel or about their confidence. It's all about self-love, right? So I think that's great.
Yeah, and I can speak to that too because I see lots of male patients in my practice of all ages, all ranges. And I'm not going to talk about any celebrities specifically, but you do see online ones that are getting augmentations done, facelifts done, when there's work done, right? So it's very common for men of all age to get treatments done. And if there's a stigma around it, I'm surprised because I think it's fine for men to take care of themselves cosmetically just as much as it is for women to do so.
Yeah, so I feel that at any age is good to start taking care of your skin health. I don't see age as a problem. I just see the numbers. I don't really see any like difference between younger people or older people. I feel that you just have to connect to yourself, see what you want, and then go from there.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some common questions we get, and let me see how you answer them, especially because you're a man receiving these treatments. Now, the biggest one, we touched on it earlier, but will it look natural?
Yeah. Um, you will definitely look natural if you want to. You will never go to the office, at least not with the place that we work. You're not gonna go there and then they're gonna do whatever they want to your face. There's always a conversation, at least with me. We always have a conversation before, and your approach is also very natural. So I like to have this conversation with you, and then you tell me also what you think based on the things that I want to do. But I always want it to look natural. I don't want it to look too fake. As I said before, I like to enhance my beauty. And there's natural ways to do that. There's also natural treatment. So of course you are putting toxins in your body, but there is also natural ways to do that. I feel that, for example, one of my favorite treatments is PRP, and we literally take my own blood. There is nothing more natural than that. It's literally me inside of me again. So like, it's a wonderful treatment. The results are great. It lasts longer, not last longer, but it lasts for a long time. And yeah, I feel that there is no other like treatment like injectables like that that are this natural.
Okay, you're kind of bringing up another stigma that I want to touch base on, and I will in further episodes too, but all cosmetic treatments, yeah, they don't need to be neuromodulators. So that's where, like that's like Botox, for example. You can do things like PRP, platelet-rich plasma. Platelet-rich plasma, again, it's very natural because it's your own body's healing properties that go back into your face, or very specifically with men, we treat hair loss. So that's one of the more common treatments we see with men is PRP and hair loss. Now, neuromodulators, Botox, you called them toxins. They're a purified protein, and it is the botulism toxin that we are technically in nature exposed to often. This is why we don't feed infants raw, unpasteurized honey, because there are trace amounts, possibly trace amounts of botulism toxin on there. You could find it in cans. And when we consume trace amounts as adults, our stomach acid can actually like break it down and metabolize it, versus an infant. If they consume any, then we run into problematic issues, right?
Yeah.
So again, we're doing a conservative amount. Things like Botox are used therapeutically for people that are in so much pain. So migraine, headaches, tension, right? Some people, they're literally on disability leave because of these concerns, and they'll do treatments where they'll do high doses in relationship to what you do. Yours is like this much compared to these therapeutic interventions. And yeah, there's a lot of talk around cause and effect and long term and whatnot, but we don't have a lot of literature to back up that it's the worst thing. We also don't have a lot of literature saying that it's the best thing. And as an adult, you get to choose your toxin, right?
Exactly. And guys, do a favor for yourself and go study more about the beauty industry, because it's way more than Botox and fillers. There's like so many other ways that you can do so many things. And it's literally, yeah, it's literally going to the doctor. You go to the doctor to check your lungs, for example. Like you go to the doctor to check your skin. Your skin is your biggest organ in the body. So like you have to be taking care of that as well. The same way you take care of your heart, the same way you take care of, I don't know, your bladder. And I feel like I've heard a lot of people around me saying like, "Oh no, I'll never do that. I'll never put those toxins in my body." But then the same person is smoking a pack of cigarettes or is going to drink alcohol like a beer every single Saturday and Sunday. So you're literally doing worse things than Botox. Please, like that is not that bad.
I think you kind of touched on it, but can you tell everybody how would you choose a provider to trust? Because it's complicated.
Yeah, I feel that if I didn't have Dr. Amy in my life right now at this stage that I really understand how the industry works, first thing I would do is to, and I think it's one of the most important things, is to have an honest conversation with your injector. You really have to understand where this person is coming from. You have to make sure that this person is a qualified injector. You do ask for a portfolio. That's a bad thing. Like we ask for a portfolio for every other professional. Why wouldn't we ask for an injector? I see injections, like especially like fillers, as an art. You are creating an art, like depending on if you're doing like lips, jawline, or stuff like that. So as to see that, and then just see if the vibe matches with what you want. I would never go to a doctor that the only thing I see is like pillowy lips, because that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm gonna go for a doctor that I see like a natural look, or something that is more connected to the desired look that I'm looking for. And I feel it's like having an honest conversation and telling him or her whatever you want and what you don't like or what you like is the most important thing. Yeah, you really have to connect.
Kevin,
Amy.
do these procedures hurt?
Okay. It always depends. So Dr. Amy, so I only had two doctors in my life touch my face. Dr. Amy and another person. I can say that Dr. Amy, I don't know what happened with her hands. It's like butter. You don't really feel anything. I feel it's all a part of the technique. She has like this little thing that she does that she, before she put the needle, she does this. And then she put the needle when she's doing that. That's like heaven.
I'm distracting them.
I'm like, oh my god, the dot. And then she does that, poof, and then she put the needle. Like, I don't feel anything. I don't feel pain. I do feel a little bit of discomfort when I'm doing Botox, but I'm the only person that I know that feels a little bit of pain when I'm doing Botox, especially around the eyebrow, because that part hurts.
Sensitive area.
Oh. But other than that, people, because we use a lot of my videos for marketing for the clinic that we work, and then I always get people texting me back my video and be like, how did you do that? Because people see a cannula as a ginormous needle, but a cannula is actually a very soft thing. It's like that thing doesn't cut. The end of the cannula is rounded. So that thing, you don't really feel anything, especially when we're doing under eye, that we put the cannula here and then we kind of go like underneath the thing, go to the under eye. I can feel nothing.
It's an icky sensation though for a lot of people.
Yeah, like if we're doing sculpture, we put a cannula and then we do a fan inside of my face. That thing looks so painful, but in reality, it's like a little massage underneath your skin.
I'm pretty sure that when we post those videos of me dragging a cannula, which looks like a long needle with a blunt end, in and out of your face, I lose followers.
100%. And people are like, I will never do that.
Messages, I know I'll never do that.
Don't be
It's
afraid.
like, on that note, yes, they can be painful procedures. We try to do the best we can to minimize the pain in and around the procedures, whether it's like a numbing cream, distraction
Oh, yeah.
technique. We'll do whatever we can to make you feel comfortable because at the end of the day, needles are not great. Now, this is going to be a little bit biased, but I find too, I don't mean to laugh, but we get a lot of fainters. We get a lot of vasovagal responses, people around needles, especially like hot summer days, dehydrated, not eating before they come in, right? We get fainters. I think I had 3 in 1 week just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
2 out of 3 of them are men.
Oh, really?
Men. So men, when it comes to needles and blood, there is definitely significantly higher. I mean, I'm saying this, I don't have any proof or research to back up what I'm saying, but a little bit more lightheaded, a little bit more easy to feel.
But 100% men's are weaker than women. Like, I am saying because I'm a man and I know that. Like, I have a lot of women around me. And oh my god, like you guys are so strong. You guys can literally put a baby outside of your body, like like men, like we're sick, we get so dramatic, we get so like, oh no, I'm dying. And women are like, no, I have to do this, I'm gonna do that. So I feel that women are way more stronger than men.
They're tough. They're tough. And when they come in with their partners or their boyfriends, and one of my questions in my health history is, are you a fainter? And they say no, because most of the time they say no. I look to their partner and I say, are you a fainter? And they're kind of like, huh? What do you mean? I'm here to support her. And then like 10 minutes later, they're back out in the lobby because they're just like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. Right?
You guys are so sensitive. We are so sensitive.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's cute.
That's okay. So wrapping it up, I think you answered most of my questions. And the only thing I didn't touch on, like we were talking about posting these procedures and we put them online. Have you ever faced any stigma in and around receiving these treatments?
I don't think I ever got anything directly to me. I have a cousin in Brazil, and all the time that I post that I'm there, she's like, what are we doing now? What are you doing now? You're gonna look too fake. You're gonna look too fake. But then I feel that that's more like a family thing. Like it's just her being annoying to me because she's my cousin. But I never like I have always been very open about what I do, and we post my videos all the time and I don't really care. I kind of like to post those videos because I just show people that maybe they don't understand or maybe they're like afraid to do that, they can also do that. Like I try to show from those videos that it's something very natural to do. Like it is getting even more common now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been very lucky with my social media, with like the posting and stuff, because no one ever said anything directly to me. People are actually, like, last time we post, I think was like my Botox a video, and then a few people just texted me with like clapping hands or like, oh my god, I have to get my Botox done too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people are getting more curious than negative about it, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thankfully, like that I will never get anything back, because then I might get upset. They're gonna lower my level.
I was gonna make a rule for myself, like I'm not gonna read comments. And the other day I read a comment, and for about 2 seconds I was like this, right? Like what? But I realized that when, we're worried about what other people do, especially when it comes to things like making themselves feel better and have more confidence, and if we have judgments about it, we have too much time on our hands.
Hey, you guys, look, you should be looking for a job or something. Like, there's a lot of dishes to wash and stuff like that. So, like, if you're home talking things about people online, it's just because you're not happy with yourself, and then you should do something about that.
Yeah. Well, and just self-reflection too.
Exactly.
Self-reflection. What are you doing that's maybe not the most purified practice all
Yeah.
the time, right? So it's just, ignore the comments if they do ever come up. They're not important.
Yeah.
And whatever you're doing to build this confidence and, make a healthy relationship even more healthier for you and your partner, keep going in that direction. Obviously take care of the inside out.
Yeah.
Hear us say that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You practice it too. So
I do. I try my best to like keep a healthy lifestyle, because honestly, when I don't do that, I can feel that I am not good at work. I am not good in my relationship. I'm not good like socializing. So there's a lot of bad things that comes with it when you don't take care of yourself.
awesome. Thank you for sharing your perspective. I think that's going to be important to a lot of people, and it's just going to give them the gateway, the leeway to know where to start.
Yeah.
And just that's a conversation with an injector, a licensed injector, by the way. Make sure they're licensed. But thank you, Kevin, for your time.
Thank you, Amy.
Always. I appreciate it. So remember, be kind to yourself and
Kill others with kindness.